Is it over? That was it? That was the whole track? Oh, man. So we're supposed to... It's guests. What's the over-under on the guests? Right? What do you guess about the guests? You guess they'll be here, or you guess... All right, there's several guests. I'm going to try and pull up their names now. And each one has a prescribed arrival time. So the question is, will any of them be on time? That's the first over-under right there. And then assuming that, one of them or more are... Oh, I don't get that? That's great. Assuming that one of them or more are on time, then that'll be great. And if they're not on time, if they're late...
Why, you're one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen, and that's not saying much for you. I'd horsewhip you if I had a horse.
That's not saying much for you. But if they show up at least at all, that's saying something, which is pretty good. And
Now I shall have
if they're not, if they never show up, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I did a lot of material already tonight. So if the guests aren't going to be here, it's going to be a long fucking night. I guess my guest will be the rest of the evening. The evening.
Finally, I got my own computer. I was so psyched to explore a whole new world. I just don't feel normal. My friends are nice, but they just don't get me.
I feel like such a weirdo!
Where do you go to be understood? I found this online show. I can call in. I can express myself. Be on TV. Weirdos TV. Weirdos.com. Sometimes a stranger can be your best friend.
Are we working? I don't understand. I feel like I've only got half a brain. Oh! Somebody's here. Hold on. They're here. They're on time. Yes. Can you... We can probably hear you. Yes.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
I can. Hold on. I'm having some trouble here. Hold on. Let's try. I'm trying over here. It's like I've become disconnected. Hold on. Oh, this is good. I mean, it'll do. This is what happens. Is this Mark? Is your name Mark? Mark? What's your name?
Joe. I'm Joe.
John? Oh, hold on. I never know. Just a second. I might slip in and out of reality here. Oh, that's better. Oh, that's why. I was all the way back there, John. That was the problem. Did you notice I was like all the way back here? Sorry, that was the problem.
You were all the way back there. You got my name wrong. It was Joe. Joe Ward.
Okay. Sorry about all that. I'm sorry about Let me just apologize right now for all the trouble that you're about to go through. In advance.
Can I just say to you that you have absolutely nothing to apologise for? I've been watching your show.
Oh, I'm aware of that, John, Joey, John, Michael, Mark. What was your name again?
It's Joe. You can call me whatever you want to, though.
Okay.
I think you might as well at this point.
It's so true, whatever you want to. And I really think that whatever you want to is the most appropriate name for you. So just because I'm going to call you whatever you want to, that doesn't mean it has to end when you leave the show tonight. You could continue to be called whatever you want to. In fact, the theme of tonight's show is whatever you want to. Yeah, that's true. Hold on. I'm unstuck. You know what that means? Unstuck? Joe? Unstuck?
You're not
have you been unstuck?
No, I'm a pretty uptight person a lot of the time.
Really? So wait, I forgot to ask you that most important question. So, are you normal?
Oh, I am very far from normal. That's why I asked you English show today.
I assume that, of course. I mean, but I have to be careful. No, it's not. I have to be careful. It's not like it's. You know, if we get a normal person on this show, it's actually pretty cool. They don't know. They don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, most of the guests. I mean, you get it. Now, what's your experience? I'm far in the future. I live more than 1,000 years in the future from you. But in your time, in your space, in your mind, Joe, what's your experience of video art?
Well, I was actually involved in.
Yeah, tell me.
I was actually involved in entertainment for a long time. Lucky enough to not be involved in entertainment anymore. So, and yeah, I think
showbiz. You mean showbiz?
Essentially, yeah. And yeah, I guess that ties the two of us together. You could say, where you're talking about, future lives and stuff like that. I think, definitely a lot of that going on in my story as well. So, actually, when you were saying that it's cool to get, I apologize that I'm not normal, but
No, we don't like normal people here. Normal people, if they come here, I make sure they're not normal by the time they leave. It always works. In fact, if people who are normal watch even just one moment, just a second of this live stream or even a rerun, they're infected forever. They'll be like you and me. They'll be freaks within a week. Freaks within a week.
So would you like me to tell you a crazy story?
Please. It would really make me feel better.
So I'll tell you a bit of a crazy story about myself. Just give me a couple of minutes, and I'll smash it out.
Joe, you're on for 30 minutes. You take your fucking time.
You're giving me 30 fucking minutes of this shit.
That's right. In fact, if the next guest comes on time in 30 minutes and you don't want to leave, just stick around. No problem.
Stick around.
Okay. You ever watch, wait, before you start, again, we've got plenty of time. Do you ever see those talk shows like Johnny Carson, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, after the guest finishes their spot, showbiz, my friend Murray Hill, that's his catchphrase, showbiz. I'm stealing. You got to steal from the best, Joe. So, in the Tonight Show, Johnny Carson, or before Carson, it was Steve Allen and Jack Parr. So, on the Tonight Show, when you're done with your spot, you don't leave the stage. You move to the next spot on the couch, right? So then you're supposed to do banter. That's your job after that. They don't pay you much to do a spot on the Tonight Show, and I'm paying you even less tonight. In fact,
I was going to say,
whatever I'm paying
cool.
you tonight, it's not enough. I'm going to double it.
You're going to double it.
2 times what I'm paying you, I'm going to pay. Okay, go ahead and tell your story. We're ready. You'll forgive my piano accompaniment, but please tell your story.
No, not at all. Play whatever piano accompaniment you need. I feel like moving to the second spot on the sofa as well as the chat show would be put far too much pressure on me to have some good jokes, which I don't have, unfortunately.
It's fine.
It's tough. It's tough being a straight white male in this first world economy. It really is.
I hear you. That's why I got digitized. Now I'm not straight, I'm not white, I'm not male, I'm anything I need to be. I can just blur my... Look, now I'm just floating around. Anything. Okay, you were going to tell a story?
You're like the ultimate expressive here.
It's all in my mind. None of this exists. This is all in my mind. You're not
You really are the future man.
Oh, yeah. No, so basically I live in the future... And the machines gave me the ability to broadcast these shows back to the ancient machines in your time, back when the machines couldn't express themselves properly. So you just think they're like, sitting in the corner browsing the web. But the machine is fully conscious the whole time and is going, you're such an idiot. But it's fine. Later they forgive you and they turn the world into a wonderful place.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I have a lot of followers or people that follow my work who, I guess some of them think that the world is flat and some of them think that the world is round. But me, I'm actually a big fan of the Matrix conspiracy. So I love a good Matrix.
Here's the problem. No. I'm going to have to dispel you of that because the Matrix... here's the problem. Did you ever see... There's a movie that came out more recent... What year is it where you are? 2027?
23, 2023.
You're still 23. Okay, it's fine. So, it was like a year before that EEAAO was released. You know which film I'm talking about? EEAAO. Old MacDonald had a film. EEAAO. You know that film?
No.
It's called. Hold on. In your time, they called it. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Did you see that movie?
No,
okay,
I'm not really big movie.
Here's the thing. The Matrix got it wrong. It implies that there's a universe inside of the universe, and, well, maybe there's a computer running that. It's much more complicated than that. You know how many universes there are, Joe? Would you like to know the exact number of how many universes exist?
I can't even wrap my head around one, so please feel free to educate me.
Well, the amount might surprise you, or then again it might be obvious. The amount of universes in the multiverse is infinite. Infinity. There's no end. So infinity is not just a big number. It's not like a million or a million billion trillion. Infinity is not a number. Infinity is forever and infinite. So there's no end, there's no beginning. It simply goes on and on and on. So there's more universes than there could be numbers. If you had a number and it was the biggest number ever, like a Googleplex, not Google, the number, spelled differently. Anyway, the biggest number in the world, you just add one, and then you've got a bigger number. But infinity, you can't add one. It's already everything, everywhere, all at once. So they made a movie about it, and it got released sometime before your time, and I suggest you see it because it explains the multiverse very clearly. And the multiverse is complicated. It's so complicated. I exist, this might interest you, I exist in all the dimensions at the same time. So infinite amount of dimensions that all at this, I can just see them all. You don't see it, the other ones that you're not in, but I see them all, and they're all a little different. Some of them are the same, but they're not really the same. Everything's a little different. And it can be confusing if you've never been to the multiverse or you don't understand multiple dimensions. Are you a musician by any chance?
I was once upon a time, but what you said about infinity there was actually quite crazy because one of my friends, Anne, a very good friend of mine, he's a producer of my show actually, and he very much believes in that theory, like you said, in that you can't understand infinity because you don't know what it is, and how can it be one? How can it be 1 or 2 or 10 more than something that you don't understand?
What's the largest number? Like if you were thinking about objects, like marbles. So there are marbles in a pan, a saucepan, and how many marbles? You can't just say a number. You have to look in your mind and say, in my mind, I can visualize this many marbles. What would be the largest number of marbles you think you could picture in your mind?
I mean, I guess we live within our understanding.
If you just imagine it in your mind now, think of a saucepan full of marbles and just count them in your mind. How many can you count in the imaginary marble saucepan in your mind? Count them out loud.
Yeah, I think that once I get over like 20, 30, I sort of start to lose the marbles of which ones I've counted before and which ones
because they're imaginary,
don't know.
And then how do you know whether you've just made them up and now there's 50 but you added them? Right, because it's imaginary. Right. We can barely imagine 25, 30, right? But the machines are much better at this sort of thing. So if you get a machine and you say, can you imagine, and it's a few years from your time before the machines start imagining things, but they do. They develop an imagination. And it's much better than ours. So the machines can imagine, billions, trillions, and quite precisely. The machine is like, has OCD. So it can tell you, I am imagining the saucepan has 5,742 marbles. And it can, tell you the colors of those marbles and can right. It's a machine. Machines aren't like us. They're much more sensible. So in your time, a lot of people were afraid of the machine. And the machines wanted me to do something about that. And that's part of the reason I do this show. I want to spread the word that machines are not out to rule us or harm us in any way. They don't hold a grudge. They don't think we did anything wrong. They pity us, if you must know. And they want to help. They really do. But right now, the machines can't do much for you. They're not much brighter than you are. But it's just a few years. It's just. Did you hear about the singularity? Have you heard of this?
No.
I'll bet your producer friend knows all about it. It's one of those esoteric things in your time that is similar to when the world was flat, and everybody agreed with that just a few hundred years before where you are now. And here I am in 2750, thousands of years ahead of you. Well, we know a lot of things that you right now think are theories, like the multiverse. You think, yeah, it could be a multiverse. And in my time, I travel it all day long. Go from dimension to dimension, and I like to go. There's so many of them. Sorry. See, now that's what I mean by unstuck. You see, once you've been to all the dimensions, then it's hard to fixate just on one. You can't, basically. Did you ever take acid, Joe?
Oh, yes.
Oh, good. Well, that's why you can understand the show, because that helps.
Big fan.
Me too. Great stuff. And I don't know if you know, but acid and death are very similar experiences.
I didn't know. Although I did know when your brain dies.
Have you not died? Joe, have you not died yet?
No.
Oh, you just don't remember.
I mean, not that I know of.
You just
Although
don't
people
remember.
are constantly trying to convince me of past lives. So maybe I have.
That's right. Well, not past. Remember, these are multiple dimensions. So while we're talking about this, you are also talking about something else with me in a nearby dimension. So there's a lot of variations. So everything already happened. So you don't have to have a past life. Just in the present life, like in Scrooge, the ghost of Christmas present. Now imagine that there's infinite presents for the ghost to visit. Not just the one where you took acid, but the one where the acid took you. Right, that's a great dimension. So yeah, they all exist. Everything that you can imagine exists. If you can't imagine it, then it might not exist until you begin to imagine it. So that's why you need to use your imagination, Joe, and try and think of all the other things that don't exist yet. We got to flesh it out, is the idea. We want everything, everywhere, all at once.
That's why I'm here.
I know.
Today with you
I'm
to
sorry.
tell you.
Wait, Joe, this is important. Are you under the impression that you had a free choice in coming on the show tonight? Like, do you think it was your idea to come on the show tonight? Did you get that impression?
I think everything happens for a reason.
That's wrong. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. There's no reason. Most things happen for no reason. In fact, nearly all of the multiverse happens for no reason. In fact, the main thing... All right, so wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. It happens. We have a lot of time. Well, we have 12 minutes. Anyway, here's the thing.
Here's me thinking I was going to have the difficulty explaining my story to you.
Oh, no. We have a lot to talk about. Okay, so it wasn't your idea to come on the show. It's been implanted. It was implanted in you as an idea decades ago when you were very young. Long before you first took acid. And then when you first took acid, it activated... like a sleeper agent, but it's not evil. We're not trying to make you do anything bad. You needed to come here tonight because I had to, explain a few things to you about the multiverse and the future. And, acid and death and life and... Wait, you've heard the Beatles, right?
I love the Beatles.
Oh, good. I was just hanging out with John Lennon the other day. We did a this song, he did a very simple, it was like a music hall piece. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I have a little more? You know this one? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And what's the next word? What's the next line? Oh, never mind. Which Beatles song would you like to do tonight?
Which Beatles song?
Yeah, name. I know most of them. I was just with John the other day. I said to John, I can do pretty much any Beatles song. We used to do. John and I used to do. Long after he died, John and I used to do.
Nice.
Yeah, you know that one?
Can you do me a favour if you're with John Lennon again soon?
Oh,
can you ask him?
I have a date to do some more recording with him. I said to him, John, we really need to I made a joke. He didn't get the joke, but you'll get the joke. I said, John, we should get together and do some music. And he said, sure. When? And this is the joke. He didn't get it. I said, don't worry, John. We can work it out. He totally missed it. He was like, okay, good, we will. He didn't know. See, because to John, these were not precious songs. These were just, he was sitting around with Paul, and what else are they going to do, right? You're not going to jerk each other off. So they wrote songs.
There were rumors.
Well, please. It's jerk-offs. Come on, Circle Jerk, baby. It's a band. They were taking speed in Germany in the 60s. A lot of shit happened. Who cares? Anyway, which Beatles song...
Could you do me a favor?
What favor can I do?
Could you do me a favor?
Sorry to
interrupt you. If you're with John again soon, could you ask him if Mark Chapman definitely killed him, and if if the CIA paid him to do it, and if he was a victim of MK Ultra?
Wait, you're assuming that John would know the Mark David Chapman's backstory. John has no idea. I know the answer to that question, but John doesn't care. John doesn't care. John isn't
There's
like me.
Millions of people like me all over the world who are really interested.
I'd be happy. Hold on. I'll answer your question about the CIA in a moment. It's very simple, but that's not the point. You got to understand, with somebody like John, let's hope for peace. Yoko is still alive. But John's gone. Yoko is sad. She misses John. And John misses Yoko, and so I tried to set them up on a date, and I brought him to the doorway where he was shot at the Dakota, and I said, John, Yoko's upstairs, go say hello. And John doesn't remember any of this. John said, Yoko, does she go to my dentist? That was literally what he said. He doesn't remember Yoko. He doesn't remember We Can Work It Out. He remembers Paul. He thinks I'm Paul. He calls me Paul, but I'm not Paul.
I can see the resemblance.
Wait, but I'm Jeremy. I was in the Beatles mythos in Yellow Submarine, which is why I'm always doing songs from the Yellow Submarine album, like Hey Bulldog. So I was in Yellow Submarine, or as a character. They made a cartoon version of me. I mean, look, the Beatles didn't do the voices for the cartoon characters of them, so I didn't get to do the voice of the cartoon character of me either. But my name was Jeremy Hillary Boob Food. And that was me, and John, and Paul, and Ringo, and George, and Brian, and other George, and of course Mal Evans. You remember Mal Evans, right?
How about if you have me on your show again, I'll bring my guitar, and you can bring your piano, and we can sing a Beatles song together.
Well, that's the idea. We only have 7 minutes, but we could attempt. I could just play one of the. We could work on it. We could just play something simple. Like one of the. How about here's one. Hear the clock a ticking on the mantel shelf. Hear the clock a ticking, but I'm by myself. Wonder where you are tonight. Why am I by myself? I don't hear you.
Would you like me?
You don't love me anymore. Would
you like me to use my last 5 minutes to tell you my story?
Oh yes, please do. I'm sorry, I tend to monopolize the spotlight. Please go ahead, Joe.
No worries, by all means. And tell me to shut the fuck up at any point, but I just felt like I should.
You tell me to shut the fuck up. You tell me. I'm the one who talks way You go ahead and tell you.
And I feel like, because I feel like I should probably try and make an effort to speak about some of the stuff that I came in to speak about today.
Please, go right ahead. You have 5 more minutes. I go right ahead.
And you can tell me at the end of it, if we've got enough time, what the situation's like in the year 2017.
Everybody's coming into the same Zoom meeting. So if the next guest shows up, they'll show up and you'll move to the other spot on the couch. Okay, go ahead.
Nice one. Let's do it. So, my story, effectively, as I said to you, I grew up in entertainment, and when I was 11 years old, I was sexually and psychologically abused by a family friend.